Yesterday, I told my friend that I would meet her at our favorite restaurant at 5:30 instead of 5 because I was coming back from the forest. She said it was the most me text she'd ever seen. You see, in my adult age, I find myself taking naps under trees, running barefoot through rivers, and howling at the moon. As much as I can, I try and remind myself that nature and I are not so different after all. We cannot care for something we feel separate from. But we're not aliens to this world. We evolved with her in a dance that is millions of years old. I define loneliness, the deep existential kind, as the feeling of disconnection from the great web of being. It's not being by myself. It's the feeling of being cut off from everything else. And in that sense, as we sweep the world clean of her magic, the ocean is no longer alive, and neither are the mountains and the forests. What we are left with is a chaotic and lonely world, one where our prayers and laments are heard by no one, and there is no witnesses to the little tragedies and triumphs of our lives. I once heard someone say that Twitter is how modern man prays. He sends his thoughts out, hoping to communicate with the universe. But if this is true, then our universe and higher powers have become terribly, terribly small. We find cultures that believe the land is alive to be primitive, and yet we will personify and name cars and self-propelled vacuum cleaners. Something in us wants to re-enchant the universe. For most of us, we only got enough training in science or philosophy to take existence apart. But the brilliant ones, they know that at some point we must restore the whole. With the pieces reassembled, even the most modern among us cannot help but see the mystical in the mundane. As Einstein said, either everything is a miracle or nothing is. We cannot afford to keep the fish out of water, or the human separate from the natural environment that raised it. Captivity is killing us, and I dare say it's killing the planet too. In the end, I'm not a scientist, though. I'm just a poet who you can find from time to time resting under a tree. But I think one of the kindest things we can do for ourselves and the place we live is to begin acting like we belong, in the same way the bee belongs to the flower. Maybe it's simpler than trying to save the world. Maybe we just become part of it once again.